Viral pins, are they important or are viral pins bogus? Now, you might have heard about viral pins. In fact, I've had viral pins in the past and they were amazing. So, do we need viral pins now? This is something that I'm going to answer on today's live. I've been away for a little bit. It's my first time back in 2022, my first live of the year. I'm really excited to be doing it. I'm sorry that I have a cat in the background. This kitty is just a little bit crazy, but that's okay. It's okay because she's a little bit excitable, a little bit excitable. All right, so I want to talk about us needing viral posts on Pinterest or not. Do we need them? And this came up because we had our community coaching call inside my paid program, Smart Pin Pro. We had our call on Tuesday and the discussion about viral pins came up. So, if you are on social media at all, you've probably thought about viral content, right? You've heard about viral content. We want our YouTube videos to go viral. We want our TikToks to go viral. We want our stuff on Instagram to go viral. We want Facebook. Like Facebook doesn't do it so much, but Facebook used to have virals, right? And so with Pinterest, we used to have virals as well. Pinterest had much more of a social media type of interface. Like it acted a lot more like social media way back in the beginning. But over time, Pinterest has changed to become more and more like search. Now, there are lots of social media type aspects to Pinterest, but because of that built-in search functionality, which is one of the things that I love so much about Pinterest, viral pins aren't really necessary. What we want is to drive traffic from Pinterest to our website. And we don't have to have a viral to do that. So let me explain. And this is really, really good news because how much pressure is there on you to make viral content? I've got to make the best of the best. I've got to have it be novel. I've got to have it be clickbaity. I've got to have it be, trending. I got to see what is the trends right now. That stuff can work on Pinterest, but it's not necessary to success because of the search functionality on Pinterest, which is unique to it from other platforms. And you might be saying, well, Jennifer, Instagram has a little search button. I can search for stuff. Or YouTube, I can search for stuff. YouTube's a little bit more search engine-y. TikTok, I can search for stuff. Yes, you totally can search for stuff on those other platforms, but they are not search engines first. And Pinterest really is built like a search engine first. I like to move it more over into the category of Google and YouTube than in the category of Instagram and Facebook, even though we kind of lump it in those categories because that's just kind of like we just don't have a name for these things yet. Like we're still so new in things. Like who knows? They'll come up with a name of Pinterest as like social search or like they say it's visual search, right? So the search is definitely a part of Pinterest. So first, let's talk about what is a viral post, just so that we can be clear that we're speaking the same language. I love Rachel Miller. She is a Facebook groups and Facebook page expert, mostly Facebook pages, and just an amazing marketer, amazing blogger. And Rachel Miller says that a viral is any post that gets 10 times the regular reach. So if your pins on Pinterest, for example, typically get 1 million impressions, if you got a pin that had 10 million impressions, then that would be considered a viral. Okay. And this works great for things like Instagram, Facebook, those kinds of platforms where we have content that goes viral. Now, is that really important on Pinterest? Well, it means that we can get more eyeballs on our content, but what we're really after, the metric we're super after on Pinterest are clicks. We want clicks and we want followers. Those are the metrics that are more important on Pinterest today. Now, they aren't the only metrics that are important, but those are really easy for us to measure and they're easy for us to quantify as far as like what kind of result we want. We need people to get over to our site so that we can have sales, we can have page views, right? Most of us are going to be monetized either with ads and affiliate, which would be the bloggers, or we're going to be monetized with products, which are going to be those retailers or people who have courses, coaches, product services, those kinds of things. So for both of those things to be successful, we need to get traffic over to our site. And that's what's important. Not so much that something went viral and is up at the top of the feed, but that we have traffic. So now that we're clear on what a viral is, can you have success on Pinterest without having a viral? Yes. In fact, none of my content is viral. However, in the November, let me see, November of 2021 was, so this was just a couple months ago, was my best November ever on my DIY blog, and December was the second best month ever in the history of my blog, and the second best December ever in the history of my blog. And you guys, I wrote 2 blog posts last year too. None of that went viral. It's not just on my old content. It's none of those things. It's really about building a solid traffic machine. And that is something that you can do too. Virals are incredibly difficult to replicate. So the first thing, the good news is that and hearing a viral, right? It's 10x what you normally reach. That feels unachievable, and it is really unachievable for most people. The great news is you do not have to have virals on Pinterest at all. Now, what do you need to do instead? So Pinterest, you have to first remember Pinterest is a search engine over everything else. It doesn't work like social media on a 24-hour cycle. This is why virals aren't important on Pinterest, because Pinterest just doesn't work that way, right? Pinterest doesn't need new every single 24 hours. It needs new based on the topics that someone is searching, based on the topics that someone is interested in, but it doesn't need to have like a new viral mac and cheese recipe every 24 hours, whereas social media needs to have new virals every 24 hours. They're on a 24-hour cycle or shorter. So, because Pinterest is a search engine, it's built based on people's what they're searching for and based on how they behave. And other social media is built on how people behave, but Pinterest is based on how people behave, and it associates that behavior with labels. So if somebody is on there searching for mac and cheese recipes and how to make meatballs and how to make pasta that doesn't stick together, then Pinterest says, oh, this person is searching these things that all have the Italian food label, that all have the recipe label, that all have the cooking label, that all have the pasta label. And so then it's going to start matching other content that has those labels to that person and show that content in their feed. Okay. So it doesn't matter if your content went viral on a 24-hour cycle 6 months ago. If today someone is searching for pasta, they're going to see they're going to see your content based on how well it matches the labels, and that's based on how optimized it is. This all goes back to search functionality, because it's people aren't on Pinterest like they are on TikTok. They aren't engaging on Pinterest like they are on Instagram. They might be looking at stories or idea pins. Why did I say stories? Idea pins. They used to be called story pins. They might be looking at those, but they don't engage in the platform in the same way as they do on other platforms. And here's the thing that's beautiful, and you might have caught this from what I just said. Pins are evergreen. So on Instagram, you post something, it does well for 24 hours, maybe a week, and then it dies. It dies. So a year from now, you're going to get nothing from that post that went viral. Okay. It's not going to do anything else for you. On Pinterest, the pins are evergreen. So you put the pin out, and then it continues to get information. Pinterest continues to gather information about the pin, which it continues to use to better define the pin, to better label the pin, so that it can show it to the people who are most interested in that topic, who are most interested in the kind of content you have. And this continues continuously. The older the pin, the more information Pinterest has about it. Now, the accuracy of that information has to do with how well you've optimized the pin, but the pin keeps on living. So whether it went viral or not at any given point in time doesn't matter as much as the quality of information Pinterest has about the pin. Now, isn't this great, because it takes all the pressure off of you to create a viral? Like, I look really crazy because the sun is coming in. So I apologize for that. It takes all the pressure off of you to create viral content, right? You don't have to worry about what's trending. You don't have to worry about what Rihanna song is the best one to sample right now. You don't have to do crazy dances or any of that stuff. All you have to do is create well optimized content that people are searching for. Put it on Pinterest so Pinterest can start the clock ticking and start gathering information about it. And every time that somebody clicks on your spaghetti and meatballs recipe, and they have the label of Italian food and the label of spaghetti and the label of meatballs and all those labels associated with their account, it reinforces to Pinterest that what your pin is about, so it can continue showing that to the kinds of people who are interested in the content you are making. It's always evergreen. So you never, ever, ever have to worry about getting a viral on Pinterest. It's such a beautiful and forgiving platform in that way. Now, let's say you put a pin out and it doesn't do well. what do you do then, right? So the flip side of like not having a viral, not having something that goes 10x your regular performance is that you have something that's a dud. Well, the beautiful thing about Pinterest is the dud's going to be gathering information, but you can put more pins out on Pinterest, right? There's no limit. So you can put more pins out on Pinterest to give Pinterest even more better information. So maybe you put that pin out, it kind of failed. Maybe the photo wasn't that great. Maybe Pinterest got the photo confused with a picture of yarn. It's spaghetti, but it looks like yarn for some weird reason. That's okay because it's very forgiving. So you can give another pin and have another chance at having that content be optimized. And they're both evergreen. Every pin you put is evergreen. So every pin is going to be gathering information for Pinterest to help people find your content on the platform. So you never ever need to worry about having a viral. All you have to worry about is making sure that you're creating optimized pins and great content that people are looking for. That's what's going to help people find your content on Pinterest. So no worries about virals. Go do that on TikTok. It's super duper fun, but you don't have to worry about it on Pinterest. So I hope that answers your question. I'd love it if you guys have any questions about this, put them down in the comments. And if this resonated with you or you resonated with this, I never know the right way to actually say that. Hit the share button and give us a like so that you'll see more of our videos in the future. Thanks so much for watching.